Okay, so here's some more trig problems here. So as opposed to having a nice trig value, we don't have a half or radical 2 over 2 or radical 3 over 2 or 1 or 0. We have 0.4, so therefore this is a calculator-based problem. And again, we have 2 theta, so therefore that means we're going to need to add 2 pi to each angle in the 0 to 2 pi region, and then divide by 2, and we're all set. So the way I handle this is I let w equal 2 theta, because I don't feel I'll deal with 2 theta later. So I have the sine of w is equal to negative 0.4. So the first thing I do is I find when sine equals 0.4. So I do, by the way, I'm in radian mode all the time here. So second sine 0.4 is equal to that, so I'm going to store that as x. So my reference angle is 0.41151684661. So therefore our sine is negative in the third and fourth quadrant, so that is pi plus our reference angle, and this one is 2 pi minus our reference angle, and this is pi minus my reference angle. So therefore we need to do pi plus our reference angle. So pi plus our reference angle is equal to, store that as x. So if we do pi plus x, that's equal to 3.553109.5. I'm going to store that as a, that's my first angle. And then I'm going to do 2 pi minus my reference angle. So that would be 2 pi minus x, because x is our reference angle, 0.411. So that gives me 5.8716684661. And I'm going to store that as b. Now I need to add 2 pi to both of these angles. So this one is A, this one is B, our next one will be C. So I'm going to do A plus 2 pi. So that's 9.836294.807. And D is going to add 2 pi to B. I'm going to store that as C, alpha C. And now D is going to be 2 pi plus this one here. So that's 2 pi plus B. So alpha B. And I'm going to store that as D, which is there. And that's equal to 12.15485377. So therefore I want to take all of these angles, all 4 of these angles, and divide them by 2. So I want to take A divided by 2, B, C, such that. So therefore my answers, if I take A and divide it by 2, I get 1.77655475. If I take B and divide that by 2, I get 2.935834231. C divided by 2, 4.918147403. And D divided by 2 is 6.0774268884. And it's always a good idea to make sure that all of our angles that we found are less than 2 pi, which is 6.28, which is true. So those are our answers. So this time we have 3 theta and we have cosecant. So 3 theta means we need to add 2 pi twice and then divide all 6 of our answers by 3. So I'm going to rewrite this as the sine of 3 theta equals 1 over negative 1.2. Well, 1 divided by 1.2 is equal to 0.83 That's 5, 6. So this is the same as 5, 6 negative. So I'm going to disregard the negative, and I'm just going to I'm going to let 3 theta equal W. So W is going to equal all of these angles here. So first I'm going to find my reference angle, which is the inverse sine of 5 over 6. So I'm going to store that as x. And then I need to find second quadrant angle is pi minus our reference angle. Third quadrant angle is pi plus our angle. Fourth quadrant angle is 2 pi minus our angle. Since we want sine to be negative, we want to be in the third and fourth quadrant. So I need to do pi plus our reference angle and 2 pi minus our reference angle. So I'm going to do that off screen and write out the answer and store them as A and B. So notice I added reference angle to pi. I got 4.126 and wrote it there. I'm going to do 2 pi minus my reference angle now. So I added, let's do 2 pi minus our reference angle, stored that as B. So now I need to take these angles and add 2 pi to them. So 2 pi to A and 2 pi to B. I'm going to let each one of those be C and D. Then I need to add 2 pi to those. I need to let those be E and F. So I'll put a little line here. So I'm going to do this off camera. I'm just going to add 2 pi to this one, 2 pi to that one, write it as C and D respectively. And then we'll come back and talk in a second. So I added 2 pi to this one, got 10 point something. Add 2 pi to that one, got 11 point something. Now I'm going to add 2 pi to each of these and write them as E and F and store them accordingly in my graphing calculator. So now here are my 6 angles. Obviously, not all of them are between 0 and 2 pi. But if I divide all of them by 3, because we have 3 theta here and here, so if I divide all 6 of these angles by 3, I'll get my 6 answers that are between 0 and 2 pi. So all 6 of these needed to be divided by 3. I'm just going to do that off camera and write out the answers, and then that'll be the end of this video. So to me, it'll take a couple minutes. To you, it'll be a second. So here are my 6 answers here, and notice again that all of my answers are between 0 and 2 pi, where 2 pi is 6.28, yada, yada, yada. This one is less than that, so therefore all 6 of these answers are the solutions to this trig equation right here.